Hi everyone, my name is Courtney. I write under the pen names Lyra Parish and I'm one half of the USA Today best-selling duo Kennedy Fox, and today we're going to continue the conversation about complacency. Honestly, I didn't expect to make another video about this. I got several comments that I felt deserved more explanation, and I feel like if specific people are feeling certain ways about the things that I said, then maybe we need to keep talking about it. While some people believe, yes, I have gotten personal messages asking me if I was talking about that person directly, because people know me. I've been friends with a lot of people over the years, and so people felt like it was directed toward them, but it's not. And the comments on the last video is proof of that this is a universal issue with authors. It's not just you. You are not alone in this. If you're complacent, cool, you recognized it, and now you're like, okay, well, that's what the problem was. Now I see that, recognize it, accept it, and I'm going to not be complacent with my next release. I don't think I explained why I look like a goth yet, but you'll see this video after the live stream. But I'm live streaming with Brooke tonight, and we're doing the Witching Hour live stream, so I thought I would just, you know, put on some eyeliner and get my blue lipstick out. She wants to go until 4 a.m. so we'll be at it for like 4.5 hours. My goal is to write 2 to 3 chapters during that time. We'll see. Who knows what's gonna happen. I thought that deserved an explanation because I don't usually look like this. Y'all know on my channel, I am one of those people that's just gonna be real with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat self-publishing. As I mentioned in my live stream last night, I'm kind of like one of those people who walk to the beat of my own drum in this community. Sure, I've got friends and acquaintances, but I just do my own thing. I make videos that are personal to me about things that I have personally experienced over the last 6 years. I understand that sometimes the things that I say are tough love. I understand that sometimes the things that I say no one else is saying in the community. I get that. I accept that. I'm okay with that. I just want to be an authentic version of myself, so that's what I am here. Literally what you see is what you get. I understand that some people felt that, not that they were attacked per se, because I feel like attacked is such a strong word, but they were called out. And I don't know you personally. I mean, let's be honest. Most of the people in my comment section, I don't know you. I mean, there are a handful of people that, yes, I'm friends with on Facebook, and yes, some of my friends that have been friends with me since I was like absolutely nothing and had no idea what I was doing who watch my channel. But for the most part, like 90% of you, I don't know on a personal level. I don't know your author journey. I don't know your history. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know your struggles. So for me, I talk about the things that I've gone through, that I've struggled with, because I didn't have a channel to bring y'all along with me when those things happened. So all I can do is reference back to things that have happened to me. Y'all know that I'm not perfect. I have explained the things that I have done wrong in my career when I first started publishing several times. I don't claim to know it all, but I know a lot. I'm not singling one person out. I've only done that once on my channel. I don't plan on doing it again, which is probably why my live stream is not live, because we got a little swifty. There were 2 comments that I felt like we needed to discuss. Of course, there were other ones, people saying it was tough love and that I was harsh and that I was real and that, you know, they really needed it. When I was where you are, I didn't have those people challenging me. I didn't have that person that had been doing this for a long time to be like, why are you doing that thing? What if you did this instead? What if you tested this thing? What if you tried this thing? Why are you not writing? Why are you not doing these things? Like, I didn't have a person to challenge me. I know who my audience is for my channel, and I've been where you are. And I've done that, and I've experienced that, and I've had the really crappy releases, and I've worked really hard on books that nobody read. I didn't have YouTube to show you all my failures, to bring you along with me, and now all I can do is reference back to those things. I wish I would have started earlier, so then y'all could have watched all the failures and the progression in real time and celebrated with me, but I didn't, and that's one of my regrets with YouTube, that I did not start earlier. But that's okay, because I'm here now, and it's better late than never. And I say that about people who tell me that they are 55 and they've never written a book before, but they've always wanted to do it their entire life. Like, write a book. What's stopping you? I'm a list maker. I'm not type A. If y'all could see how messy my life and my space is, y'all be like, yeah, there is no way that girl is type A. I'm not type A. I'm just organized with my thoughts. I do things on a whim, I make crazy goals, and then I accomplish those goals. That's how I've lived my life. And I'm pretty happy. It's not perfect. It will never be perfect because we're human and humans are messy and life is messy. Comment shout out of the day. Yes, we're still gonna do a comment shout out on this video. And of course, okay, this one's going to Kevlandia. It goes right here because oh my god, I laughed so hard when I read this comment. Wig has been snatched. I was like, man, I wish that I could put a gif right here because there are so many snatched wig gifs on Facebook, and it made me laugh. But yeah, you got the comment this week because I literally like snorted and laughed out loud. Crap, my battery's gonna die. Ugh! Most of the people were very happy to hear this, and a lot of people realized that maybe they're complacent. I love to challenge you. I love to have people look at the things that they're doing and be like, wow, I just got called out. Because who else is doing that for you? It's very easy to get caught up in your thoughts and in your habits and in the same old, and to think that you're doing everything you can. But then when someone challenges you and pulls you out of that and they say, but why? The question is always why? Why did that happen? I question myself all the time. Why did that thing happen? And maybe it's philosophical of me to be like, well, why was that? Why do I need to change this or whatever? But I've found that when you question yourself and you really deep dive into the things that happen in your career and why those things happen, and sometimes when you give yourself time and grace to go back and review those things, you can see the mistakes clear as day. So this question came from Amy Sue. It says, I completely agree that you always need to try and level up your craft and work hard. However, it's also true that not every book you write is going to be better than the last. Eventually, despite the hard work, you will write something that doesn't land as well. How do you deal with that internally? How do you tell the difference between being complacent and the inevitable and occasional flop? Even the most experienced self-published author has occasional flops. We did. I know some of you are going to be like, what? I had tons of them as Lyra. We have them as Kennedy Fox. Not every release that we have sells like hotcakes, but it's not always the end for a book. There are books where they will flop, and it comes down to maybe timing, maybe execution. You can do everything that you possibly could dream of for a release and it could still flop. I know people who have spent $20,000 on ads for a release and the release flopped. They didn't make their money back on their ads. They did not see the read through on their backlist. It was $20,000 basically flushed down the toilet. At that point, you have to ask yourself, okay, so this release flopped. Is there anything else that I could have done for that? No. You had the best cover, you did your market research, you had a catchy blurb, you wrote the best book that you possibly could write, like you didn't half-ass it or just have a release just to have one. You marked all of the boxes. If you did everything that you could have done for that book, you're not complacent. You tried, you spent your time and your money, you poured yourself into that release and it didn't do well. And that's when it's devastating. That's when it really hurts. It really, really hurts. I mean, I have had so many of those type of releases. And do you ever get over it? I mean, my eyes just started watering. Please don't think I'm about to cry. I'm not. Failure releases happen. Flops happen. At that point where you have thought about it and you have reviewed it and you determined that you tried your hardest and that you weren't just blasé about it, then you're not being complacent. Maybe it was bad timing. Things like COVID happened this year and people were releasing during that. And that's hard because you can't predict it. There are a number of things that you can control. There are a hell of a lot more things that you cannot control, okay? So flops happen. There are books that go out there and they just don't do well. Let's talk about Jeffree Star's makeup palette, Cremated, coming out. Bad timing. It was something that he couldn't control, but he's still releasing it. You know, books are the same way. If you look at that, like sometimes things happen and you can't control those outside things. things. You have to focus on the things that you can control. And as long as you're doing that, you're not being complacent. And sometimes that comes to being new, not knowing, oh, maybe it's not a great time to release a book during Amazon Prime Day, for example. It's not a good idea. Maybe it's not a good idea to release a book during elections. It's gonna be really hard to compete with all those political posts. Sometimes it's just being so new that you don't know the mistakes that you're making, and you have those flop releases, and then you look at it and you go, well, I did everything that I possibly could, and then you try again and you release another book. Maybe that one flops. You release another one. Maybe that one flops. But I am a strong believer that if you keep going, that if you keep trying, then eventually something's gonna work out in your favor. It has to. The odds are not against you. I think about Kristen Ashley, and I remember her saying at some point, she didn't have a bestseller until she was at 30 books published. 30 books? How long are you willing to push? How long are you willing to write the books and put them out there and then rinse and repeat and do it all over again? It hurts when you have flops. It's hard when you have a flop release to start writing something else, because what if the next one is a flop too? But what if it's not? What if it's the book that breaks you out? And when you break out, people go and read your backlist. So don't just release and whatever, because if you break out, people want to know what else you have, because usually it's the first time they've seen you, and all of your old books are now new to them. And you have to kind of keep that in mind. So the next comment, this one comes from JC, and it's a long question, but the very end of it is the meat of the question. And it says, I just wanted to ask if you think there is a difference between someone who is complacent and someone who is trying not to overthink things. And up above, if you read it, she talks about perfectionism. I used to kind of have this problem when I first started. It's why it took me 3 years to write and publish something. A lot of people don't know that. I finished my first book at the end of 2011. I got a small publishing contract in 2012. I basically had stage fright. I knew that I couldn't put out what I wrote, and I got out of my contract. I get that. I said this in one of my videos. I don't remember which one it is, but it's like, we strive for perfection, but we will never be perfect. And it's okay to strive for perfection, but when you are trying to be so perfect that you don't allow yourself to make mistakes, that's when you don't learn anything. Over the years, I've thought about like that need to be perfect, the need to have the perfect release and to blah, blah, blah. And it all boils down to, for me, is the fear of failure. Why do you want to be perfect? I ask myself why all the time. Why do you want to be perfect? Well, I want to be perfect because I don't want people to judge me. I don't want people to hate what I'm putting out there. And when you try to make something so perfect that you don't fail and you don't make mistakes, then you don't learn anything. Learning things is what makes you better than what you were. So if you try to be so perfect at level 1 that you never do anything, you always stay at level 1. You see what I'm saying? You never move to the next level and flounder around there and make more mistakes and then move to the next level. Like you never go anywhere. You stay stagnant. And that's different than being complacent. Because complacent is you've released and you're good with whatever. Whatever happens, happens. It doesn't matter. Perfection is you caring so much that you let that hinder you from making mistakes and moving forward. And it's okay to make mistakes. It is more than okay to make mistakes. I have made enough mistakes for all of us. And so I make these videos to be like, hey, do not be like me. You will be so much more successful than I am if you just don't do the things that I did and you just skip those. So we're gonna talk about those things because I did it and I suffered and I had many late nights. There were weeks when I couldn't write because I felt so hard and it hurts. It hurts. That means you're human and that you do care. At the point where you have a flop or a failure release, any of those things and you don't care, that's when you're complacent. Whatever happens, happens, right? Perfectionism, that's a whole other issue. That is something that I feel like a lot of people deal with. They just want it to be right. They want it to be perfect. They don't want any errors in their books. But the thing is like, you can strive for it, but it's better if you just go ahead and accept that you're not gonna be perfect, that all you can do is the best that you can do right then at that moment. I wanna stress that right then at that moment thing, because the writer that I am today is not the writer that I was 5 years ago. I've improved. If I would have let perfectionism stop me, I would still be that person I was 5 years ago. Never moving forward, letting my fears hinder me from actually doing the thing. And whether that's releasing a book or doing a YouTube video or doing any of those things, you get better the more you do it. You become more comfortable. And at some point, it's like, wow, like I really understand how this works. I really understand that writing that sucky book and publishing it and getting all those bad reviews, like that was the thing that catapulted me to learn more about grammar. That was the thing that catapulted me to work on story structure. Those bad reviews are what made me push harder. And see, without those mistakes and without doing the thing and without putting yourself out there, as intimate as writing is, without doing those things, you stay in the same place. You're not complacent, but you're still not improving. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that makes sense. There were other comments too, but those were the two that really just stuck out to me. And you know, writing is so intimate. It's personal. We write books and we ignore everything else. We ignore our husbands, our kids, our pets, our friends, our family, responsibility at some point. This is why my office is filthy after every release, because the only thing that I'm worried about is my book and finishing that and making sure me and Brooke make our deadline. I have tunnel vision, and it's one of my many faults, which people have called me out for. I know I'm not perfect. It's intimate. It's a part of us. It is our legacy. It is scary to give that to people, to write something that's so personal to you and to publish it for an infinity amount of people to read it. Even after we're gone, hopefully our words will still be there. That's scary to think about, but it's also very exciting to think that you can write something that can change someone's life. Sure, we write romance and, you know, there's a lot of people who are haters about that, but the messages that we get from people who have gone through trauma, who have never found love, who have really connected with characters that we have written, that's worth it. And nobody, not even bad reviews, can take that away from us. I know that my last video was real talk. I know that it was, but I am going to challenge you, and I'm going to continue to challenge you, and I'm going to continue to talk about the things nobody else is talking about, because this is my life. I know what I can bring to you all. I know there's no one else in this small community other than, like, you know, the super big authors who don't even associate with any author tubers. They're levels beyond me, 100%. But I'm talking about in the hashtag authortube community, I know that I am at a higher level than majority of the people in the community. I am aware of that, and that's okay. Everybody has something to share and something to bring, and I don't make craft videos because there are hundreds of other people who make them. I don't think that y'all are here because y'all want to learn how to write a book. I think y'all are here because after you finish that, you want to be successful. And that's back to my core audience. Like, I know who you are. I know what you want. I know what you're trying to strive for. I know many of you are struggling. I know many of you have issues with your releases. I know many of you are new and have published less than 5 books. That's who I'm talking to. And there are some of you who have published 20 books. I watch these videos and I try to be as authentic as possible. I'm not playing a person when I make YouTube videos. Like, this is not a character, guys. This is real life. This is who I am. And I know that I'm not for some people. I'm okay with it, because the people who are here, I know those are the people that I'm actually helping. And I'm gonna keep giving you tough love, because it's love. It is love. It's just love packed with a punch, because I am, like I said, I'm gonna challenge you, because I know that every single one of you out there can level up. I know there are a lot of people who are like, don't expect to be a full-time author. It's too hard. Bull. I'm not a unicorn. I'm not a special snowflake. Every single person who wants what I have, you can have it. You know why you can have it? Because your dreams work if you do. That's why. Real talk. I hope that we can continue the conversation. I do. I hope that we can. And I really, really, really do appreciate every single person being here. Like, I wish that I could just like cut my brain open and like upload it to YouTube and y'all just download the parts that you need. That's what I wish I could do. Like, take whatever you want. I mean, my childhood was not the greatest. I mean, you probably don't want those parts. Let's skip, you know, that part. But like the author stuff, like I wish I could upload that. And then you could have it. And then you could reference whatever you needed. I don't hold back. And I'm not gonna hold back on real talk. I'm not gonna hold back on struggles. I'm not gonna hold back on my opinions. I'm not gonna hold back on it. And if you like that, then I'm sure you subscribed and you're very happy to be here. So I'm sure you'll see this video on Monday. Witching Hour was probably incredible. I mean, let's just be real. Me and Brooke always have a good time together. I'll probably be live sprinting a lot because I want to finish this next book that I'm writing, and so me and Brooke, my writing partner, can get ahead. So just watch the community tabs. I will try to announce it there if it's just a random one. I really appreciate y'all. I hope you have an amazing, incredible week. You accomplish all your goals and you write all the words, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye guys!